making some muffins. Mainly because I've just been really wanting to make some muffins. And also, I accidentally made a mistake when measuring some muffin stuff out recently, and I was just going to make a single batch. And I accidentally measured out 4 times the amount of oil that I needed for the recipe, so we're making a lot of muffins today. But I have ideas for different flavors, so I'm pretty excited to try them out. So I'm just going to finish measuring out our sugar here. Okay, and this is not my recipe. It's from Chef Danielle Sepsi. She has actually a muffin cookbook coming out, and I took her class at the Bake Fest, so that's how I got this recipe. Okay, so I already had I had 1 set of sugar already mixed with the oil, so I'm going to do 3, like the recipe times 3 for the rest of the sugar I need. I don't usually make those mistakes, but when I did that, I was like, oh, I totally misread that recipe. It happens. Can happen to the best of us. Okay, don't tell me I'm gonna run out of sugar before I'm even done. Of course. Maybe I'll just add a little extra brown sugar. Because it doesn't usually require brown sugar, but I could just add some to make up for it. I think I might do that instead of having to get my next bag of sugar ready to go. Yeah, it's like nothing left in here. I'll just use the rest of it and we'll just supplement the rest with a little bit of brown sugar. And I realized I accidentally quadrupled the oil. I was like, oh. And I hate wasting ingredients, so that's why I was like, I'm still gonna make them. I set them aside, I put the ingredients in the fridge until I could get back to them. So, let's see. Okay, brown sugar. I think I'm gonna do, I have an idea for like 3 or 4 flavors I'm gonna try out. So I'm excited to do those. So when I did make the muffins for her class at the virtual baking conference, I made these really yummy ones that were, oh my gosh, my voice always disappears when I go on live. I made toffee and mini chocolate chip, which were very good. Come on, brown sugar, cooperate. I need to rehydrate brown sugar fairy, I think. Okay, that's not too bad. Hello, thank you for joining. We're making some muffins today. This week is fall baking week, so I thought this would be the perfect week to make the muffins that I've been wanting to make. Especially because today is like a nice rainy day. It's like the perfect kind of baking weather right now. Okay, that's the last of our sugar. I'm gonna keep the brown sugar on there because I might make the brown sugar streusel. I usually do my 1 streusel, but she has a brown sugar streusel topping that looks really good, so I might try hers out for one of our toppings. Hi Maria, how are you? Yes, I'm excited. I've had ideas for a couple different muffin flavors, so I was like, you know what? We're using the stuff I accidentally measured out too much for, and we're just gonna do, everything at once. It's gonna be nice and good, so I'm excited. I have ideas for, I really want to try a blueberry one. That's actually the one that she made, one of the ones that she made in the class. as well as, what's another one? Oh, I had an idea for like a maple pecan, because I have these maple baking chips that we've had in the freezer, and I tried those out recently for one of my mom's biscotti flavors that I make her, and that turned out really good. So, hello, I'm good. How are you? Good, thanks. Had a good week. It has been a pretty good week. Again, it feels like as soon as October hits, time goes by insanely fast. But yeah, things are pretty good. Finally, it's feeling like more fall weather, which I'm very happy about. Because even like at the end of October with like Halloween and everything, it was still too warm. It was like not Halloween weather. So, okay. What else do I need? I have my sugar. I'm gonna set that to the side. I need my eggs. Eggs. They're not at room temperature yet. But I can just put them in some water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need one more. I'll grab one more egg really quick. Okay, so while I'm at the rest of our ingredients, our eggs can come to room temperature. 2, 4, I moved this down to 20 degrees. Okay, 6, 7. Alrighty. What are you cooking? She's making muffins. Yes, I am making muffins, which goes along perfectly with our fall baking week this week. It's been so soggy here. Oh no, today's like our first day of rain finally. So I can't imagine having it all the time, but yeah. Okay, next we need vanilla. I need 2 tablespoons total for the amount. Oh my god, vanilla container open. Okay. Yeah, because it's, her recipe has 1.5 teaspoons, times that by 4. Right? Yes. I'm second guessing myself. I know my baking ratios. Okay. Just seems like a lot, but it's because it's so many. And if you're curious, I'm using, I like using like Mexican vanilla, that Mexican vanilla extract. It's always very good quality. Okay. Next, I have my butter coming to room temperature. I might need to warm it up just a little bit because it is a little bit chilly in here. I already definitely have the oil. That's where I got into this situation in the first place. Cake flour. I don't have cake flour and it takes forever to sift it. I'm just gonna see what happens when I just do regular flour today. So let's grab a bowl to measure that out. Set that over here. Okay, so because it's times 4, I'm doing 8 cups. What's the difference in vanilla? Is it just brand difference or a different flavor? There are some extracts that are like, they kind of use like artificial flavoring to kind of make it. So it makes it cheaper, but it also doesn't have as good of a flavor. So it just kind of depends on, you know, the different brands or something. But a good like Mexican vanilla is just, it has just a better flavor, a really good smell too. So that's usually what we go with. That was a very good question. Yeah, and different brands have different consistencies and flavors, and especially if you want like this one says pure vanilla, and when you look at the ingredients, it's vanilla bean extract. So it's like, this is all it's made with basically. So instead of like all the additions that they sometimes add in for the artificial combined one. What's cake flour? That is a great question. So cake flour, it usually has, if I'm remembering correctly, because I've only used it like a couple of times, but it's like sifted a bunch, so it's a lot lighter, and it also let's see. There's also something that I remember I made cake flour for the class when I did it, and I believe it was by combining like a little bit of cornstarch and a little bit of, I think it was like cornstarch and sifting it or something like that, but it makes it a lot lighter. So it's really good for cakes because of that reason. So yeah, it's like lighter, fluffier, and it can be really good for cakes, but it's not required. Like the cakes that I make are pretty dense anyway, so I just use regular AP flour, all-purpose flour. But it is very interesting to see like the different types of flours. Like bread flour has a higher gluten, because when you make bread and pizza and stuff like that, you want to have more gluten development, which gives it that specific texture of that baked good. But with cakes or cookies, you don't want to like build up that gluten too much. So, but I actually have seen cookie recipes use a little bit of bread flour, which is interesting. You just don't want to mix it too much to develop that gluten. Okay, 6 more cups to go. Thank you for the questions. I really appreciate them. I hope I'm answering them to like them that make sense and to the best of my ability. I feel like I'm still learning some things that I like for some stuff that I don't use or I've only used like a couple of times, but halfway there after this one. 4. Sometimes I lose track while counting and I'm like, dang it. If I'm making a really, really big batch of cake, I've done that before. I just kind of like zone out while doing it, and I'm just like, dang it, I lost track of where I was. 5. Hey BKC, I'm good. How are you? All right, I'm on. Crap, was that 6? Dang it, I did it again. Okay, I think that was 6. We're calling it 6. We're saying this is 7. And our last one. 8. Perfect. Okay, so we'll set this to the side because if I do make the brown sugar streusel topping, then I will be using that one. Okay, so we have all of our clean as we go. We have all of our flour. I'm going to add the rest of our like salt, baking powder, baking soda, all that good stuff. Alrighty, so baking powder, so I need 2 teaspoons total. And the difference in baking powder, baking soda, if anyone is curious, baking powder already has like the ingredients in it required to kind of like do the leavening. So as soon as you start like mixing it with liquid, it can actually start having that reaction. Whereas baking soda is a base. We need an acid to activate that. So that's the main difference between the two of them. They're 2 different types of leaveners. And then how much do I need? Same amount of that one. Cool. I like when they make things easy for me. Do-do. Do-do. Okay. Wait, they're the same. They're not the same, I know. Yeah, so baking soda, oh, it's just like this little container that we reuse, but yeah, so baking powder already has its active ingredients in it. I don't bake. Bread is the only thing I can do. Bread is still can be really complicated. It's like some people have a lot of trouble with yeast, so the fact that you're able to make bread is really awesome. Water, flour, yeast, and a pinch of sugar. There you go. Have you made sourdough bread before? I'm very curious. How much salt do we need? Interesting. Okay, hold on. Mathing. We need 3 teaspoons. Seems like a lot, but it is quite a bit of muffins. 1, 2. Of course, if we measure by weight, it would be more accurate, but luckily this recipe that I got in the class does not have the weights at the moment. Although I do want to start to transfer doing more consistently the weights for stuff. Okay. So we have all of those. I'm going to give that a whisk. Come on. Which sometimes instead of like sifting, the whisk can kind of like aerate it a little bit. Not a ton, but carefully mixing because there's so much in here. Oops. What's nice about her recipe is that it's like a really good base, and then the way that she actually added the mix-ins, like the the ingredients to make it what the specific type of muffin it's going to be. She actually adds it during the process of putting it in the pan, so we're going to try that again today. But because I did toffee bits and mini chocolate chips, it actually worked out better to mix it in for the consistency. Oh, it looks prettier with the stuff on top, I will say. No, just a simple loaf and seeded. That still sounds amazing, though. Yes, I had a good week. How about you? Oh, that's good. Glad that everybody's having a good week. Lovely weather, dark gray, and truthfully very soggy. Yeah, that's how today feels, but it's like, I think we're not supposed to get rain again until maybe next week. It's kind of inconsistent, but okay. What else do we need? Making sure I have all my stuff. Okay, so I got that. We have all of our dry ingredients done. We have our sugar in the bowl. We have our vanilla extract ready to go. The oil, the thing that started this entire process. If you weren't here, I was going to make some muffins recently, and I accidentally misread the recipe and did 4 times the amount of oil. So that's why we're doing a big old thing of muffins today. Eggs are coming to room temperature now, and sour cream is my last thing. So let me get the sour cream out. I guess I've had my waterproof trousers. Walking to school in the rain. So I love rain unless I have to like walk in it and then be like wet for the entire day. We're all stopping wet. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's get this bowl should hold it. This is a lot of sour cream. Okay, pouring off like there's like that excess liquid that goes on top. I don't know. I like running in the rain. Really? Interesting. I did, I think at one point last year, a couple times, I tried doing like I do like outdoor laps in the backyard with Lily. She just does her own thing. She likes to just run around, do her own thing, but she likes someone to be with her. So then I just do laps in the backyard for myself. And she's not the biggest fan of when it rains. She's just kind of like, I don't, she likes it when it's just like bright and sunny and, the bugs are flying and she can chase them and everything. But for me, I was just like, especially because we have certain parts of the backyard that get like kind of muddy. So I was like, I am going to slip. I am so wet right now. So I was just like, yeah, probably shouldn't do the full outdoor stuff in the backyard. Especially because I felt multiple times like I was going to fall. Sorry, I'm making food. Ooh, what kind of food? Yummy. Okay, so we have 1 cup. Help me keep count. We got to do 4 cups. And if I do actually run out of sour cream, because that is a lot of sour cream, I do have the non-fat Greek yogurt, which I could use as, I don't remember if she said that was a good substitution, but that's what I have, and I've been able to use it as a substitute before for this kind of similar thing. It has a similar texture, which is nice. And it still has like that little bit of sourness like you want with sour cream. There's 2. You're listening but can't type right out. No worries. Do your thing. Okay, we're on cup number 3. Okay, 1 more. Goodness. I have a lot of muffins to give away. Mac and cheese balls with potato on the stick thing, that you can get from the carnival. I don't know, I got it from Costco. Ooh, that sounds yummy. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like the ones you can get at like the fair and stuff. I'm using almost this entire thing of sour cream. Oh my goodness. All right, 4 cups. Alrighty. Use that. Okay, good. I low-key thought I was going crazy. No, you're good. Okay, so we still have our eggs coming to room temperature, and gonna move all of this stuff out of the way because I don't need any more. Right. Yeah, 1.5 cups of mix-ins when we do each flavor-ish. But because we add it a certain way, like we can kind of not add the exact amount that it says for that. So Perfect. Okay, while we're finishing getting our eggs to room temperature, I'm going to lightly warm our other stuff because it's still kind of solid. Ooh, actually, I've had it out for a while, so it looks like it's getting to a good consistency. Lovely. But the butter is still a little bit firm, so I'm gonna pop that onto like a plate or something, just to warm it up a little bit. Ooh, questions. Should I do peach or strawberry syrup? Ooh, I don't know which one. It's for lemonade. I'm always a fan of strawberry lemonade. That sounds delicious. Grabbing a microwave safe plate here. All right, peach lemonade sounds good too, but I'm a sucker for strawberry lemonade. Okay, so I gotta just lightly warm our butter just to get it closer to room temperature so it's not so cold. TY, of course. Thanks for popping in the chat. It's good to have you here. During our muffin making. Oh, gee, it's so good. It sounds amazing. Oh my gosh. I wish. I don't know if there's a way to post pictures in the chat. That would be so cool. Okay, let's do 30 seconds at like half power. I don't want to fully melt everything. So, okay. I'm going to get my little thing so this doesn't slip too much. And also our mixer. All right, so I'm gonna mix up the batter and then we can figure out all the flavors that we're doing. I got syrups from Amazon because it's so expensive to buy drinks out. It's been so nice. That does sound like a really good idea because it is like crazy expensive to get drinks out. I feel like I always want to get stuff like that and then I never remember to use them. But I actually did get some like sugar-free syrups for like the coffee drinks I do every day just to add like a little bit of something. Mom gave me and my sister $25 every week for food and drink, so we were savoring it. Oh, nice. That's awesome. Okay, that feels pretty good. Hoping it's not too much, but I think we're good to go. Ooh, and I need a bowl to actually get the eggs out of their shells. So many dishes after I'm done with this. But I'm really excited. Like I said, I've been wanting to make these muffins for a while. And I keep having ideas of flavors. But you guys can help me decide like what the final flavors are going to be. If I had some of my apple compote on hand, I would totally add some of that in here. That would be really, really good. But I used the rest of it for actually the thing I shared yesterday. That's what I used the rest of that for. So unfortunately not this time, but maybe I can make some of those at some point. Okay, well, I'm gonna separate some eggs really quick over by the sink so it's less messy. Like I said, I'm not giving every recipe detail because this is not my recipe, but it's from Chef Danielle Sepsi, and she does have a cookbook coming out soon. I got this recipe when I took her muffin class at the Bake Fest. Last month, actually, beginning of last month. Can't believe that was a month ago. My goodness, time is passing by so crazy fast. And I put boba in there. Ooh, I always like the, what is it, like the strawberry popping boba? That's my favorite one. What kind of boba do you put in there? That sounds fun, OMG. Hello, thank you for joining. We're making some muffins. Same one, oh, nice. I think I've tried maybe one other kind. There's like the brown sugar one. Usually I love brown sugar, but I don't know. I'm also just not like the biggest fan of like the whole milk tea thing, just because I'm not a big fan of tea. So, but I love, the first time I tried like the strawberry boba was at this place near me that does like, I've only had their stuff like a couple of times, but they also do like smoothies with boba. So that's the option I chose. So I was able to get a smoothie with the strawberry boba. So good. See what I love it? Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna add my vanilla. Get in there. Don't wanna waste it. Okay, and then, let me refresh myself on the order that she had us mix things in. Okay. Dang it, I don't have any more butter out. Hold on, let me grab a stick of butter from the freezer. I did have a box, but it's in the fridge, so it's not room temperature. But I don't like the one you have to chew. I don't know if I've tried that one. I do like how the little strawberry ones, I do a little pop. MFK for a little bit. No worries, thanks for letting me know. Okie dokie, so I'm getting one of the sticks of butter out so that I can set that to the side. And I'm probably gonna whip up the, ooh, I have jam. We could do a jam swirled one. That just occurred to me. Hold on, I have too many ideas. Okay, so, Perfect, everything I thought that I should be adding. This looks so weird. This is that, it was like a little bit of sugar, 1 stick of butter, and then the way too much of the oil. That's why it sounds all crunchy, because it has sugar in it. Okay, so we're adding all of our sugar, our oil, our butter, vanilla extract, and everything. Most of the ingredients into the bowl, but then I think we're gonna do, yeah, eggs one at a time. Separately. If I can get these out of the way. Beautiful, okay. And we're gonna add our butter. Just joined, what are we making? Thanks for joining. We're making some muffins today. We're adding, like, we're doing a little variety of muffins. I should say little variety, it's quite a few. Okay. So we've got our butter, our sugar, our oil, and our vanilla, and we're gonna give that a mix. Okay, we're supposed to mix this until it's fluffy. Mix it for about like, to make it fluffy, probably like 3 to 5 minutes or so. Hey, what are you? Are you a big ol'... Okay, brown sugar chunk that did not want to break apart. Break. It's like, please don't tell me that's a big old like molasses chunk that's not going to incorporate. Okay, now we can continue mixing. Like the only annoying part is having to mix for a little while, but you gotta mix everything together really well to get that fluffy texture. Our next step will be to start adding the eggs one at a time. It's already looking nice and fluffy, but I'm just gonna keep going for a little bit longer. Okay, just keep on for a little bit longer. I'm gonna get my spatula to scrape down the sides of the bowl before I mix it just for a little bit longer. And then we can start adding our eggs. To scrape off my spatula before I start mixing again. Okay. And a little bit more mixing. I'm pretty happy with that, so I'm gonna start adding the eggs one at a time. one more egg. Just finish mixing everything together. Okay. I'm gonna mix this with our spatula for to at least like scrape down the bowl a little bit. And right, okay. Just refreshing my. This is the first one I've ever done where she actually recommends, like when I make my cake batter, I add some dry ingredients and I add some of the liquid, usually water or milk, and kind of like alternate those to mix them together. And this one she actually uses sour cream to alternate with the dry ingredients. I just had an idea while I was mixing for like if I was doing like a single batch, adding like a different extract, just like a cherry and adding some chocolate chips. Oh my gosh, that would be so good. If I have this cherry emulsion, I think I definitely need to try that for the holidays, doing like a cherry chocolate muffin. Especially because I feel like this year I'm going to be baking a lot of gifts for people. Okay. So now we can start incorporating our dry ingredients. I'm going to use a big old spoon so I don't dump like everything at once, because the bowl is really big. I'm going to do it in 3 to 4 additions because this is a bigger set. So I don't want to add everything too quickly. I hope this bowl is big enough. We're mixing on low so we don't have all the dry ingredients just like, you know, go up in the air in our faces. Mixing on low until pretty much just combined. I feel like I keep getting ideas for muffin flavors, and then it's like I always go through like phases of like I really want to make muffins or I really want to make cookies. It's like I go through phases, have a bunch of ideas for flavors, and once I try them out, I'm like, okay, I'm on to the next like type of baking that I want to do. I don't know if anybody else is like that, but I feel like I always have like I have different session like I don't know, different times of inspiration for different types of baking or different types of baked goods. Like I definitely get way more inspired to make cookies, especially around Christmas. So it's like growing up, that was like a way that I would help my mom was by doing like the sprinkles for her sugar cookies, her lemon sugar cookies. I'm going to do 4 additions just to be on the safer side with this. There's going to be so much. Is that bonsoir? I hope I said that correctly, if that's what it is. And hello, thank you for joining. We're making some muffins today. A big old batch of base muffin batter, and then we're going to do different flavors, which you guys can help me decide which flavors to do. I'm thinking like 4 different flavors. And also mixing or scraping down with our spatula is also important during this part of the process. Okay. Let's again scrape our spatula and then continue the process of mixing in pieces with the dry ingredients. It's just to make sure that not everything like if you add everything at once, it has a better chance of like things clumping up, so you want to incorporate it in stages. I have to go. Hopefully I can stay next week. No worries. Have a good day. Thank you for joining. I hope you have a great week. Okay. Gonna add like half of our sour cream that's left. And then our next one will be our last one. Carefully mix. There's so much muffin batter. I feel like this bowl is just gonna be big enough for all the muffin batter. I can usually do like a triple batch of cake batter in here, so I think quadruple muffin should work. It's definitely getting thick. Trying to make sure I don't spill or have things like pop up on the sides too much. Okay, I think I'm at a point where I can scrape down the sides of the bowl with my spatula and we can add the rest of our stuff. I just need to keep being more careful with each addition. Don't want any batter to fall off. There we go. Really random, but do you guys have poppies in America and poppy collections? I just don't think I've ever seen an American with one. Poppy is like flowers? Is that what you're referring to? What are you making? Hello, thank you for joining. We're making some muffins today. Making a big old batch of plain muffin batter, and then we're going to add different things to it. And you guys can help me decide which flavors. Really trying to get down the sides, just making sure we're all good. Okay, I think that should be good for now, and then we can do one more scraping. Nice, yes, I'm excited. I've been wanting to make these. I mentioned earlier I made a mistake when measuring some stuff out, so that's why we're doing such a big batch of muffins. It's like a quadruple batch, but like I said, I am excited for all the different flavors we can do. Okay, final edition. My goodness, we're finally here. Last of our flour, or our flour mixture, I should say, because that also has our chemical leavening agents. Just means baking powder, baking soda. And then the last of our sour cream. Oop, let me use a spatula to scrape everything down. We don't want to miss anything. Okay. So a little bit more mixing and then we're ready to go. Finally, we're here. Okay. Be careful because I don't want this to also overheat my mixer, but I can't do too much of a higher power without it trying to whip up the dry ingredients in my face. Being very careful. Oops. Oh, a piece of batter shoot at me. Okay, I'm gonna try it out. Ah. Just gonna mix the rest of the way. It's almost incorporated. Get as much batter as I can off of this, so don't want to waste anything. But also I have to clean up because I had batter shoot at me a little bit, as well as some of our dry ingredients here. Okay. We are good. Okay. Just gonna give this a little mix to finish off. Don't want to mix it too much because, again, like I mentioned earlier, we don't want to develop too much of that gluten to make them tough muffins. We want them to be nice and fluffy like cake. I feel like muffins are like just a teensy bit kind of, for lack of a better word, bready version of a cake, but I always think of them as like very closely related to a cupcake. Okay, I think that should be good. Don't want to mix it too much. Alrighty, so we can get our, gonna get this out of the way. Wipe on the counter one more time. Okay, and the oven's set at 400 because you actually have to do a higher temperature at first for the initial bake. And I'm trying to remember, she said why. The month has been crazy. I don't remember exactly why, but there was a purpose of like you do it at a higher temperature initially and then you drop the temperature for the rest of the bake time. Which I thought was very interesting, so that's not a typical thing for baking. Okay, and then I don't have specifically full baking cups. I have these really cute ones, but I don't think I can use them for actual like baking. So I'm just gonna use Christmassy ones. I have like a bunch of plaid ones right here, so I think that would be good to use. Are they all the same? I got a bunch of them, the ones that are the same. Okay. Yes, I can use a bunch of these. Cool, cool, cool. So you say like, 'tis the season. It's a little plaid design. Which plaid also works for fall. I like to coordinate these more, but because we're gonna add toppings on top, we'll know what each of them are. So that'll be cool. Oh my goodness, so many muffins. Christmas, yeah. Yes, Christmas is gonna be here before we know it. Oh my goodness. my goodness, so many muffins. We're almost done adding our little muffin cups here. Bonfires tonight, kaboom kaboom. What is the kaboom kaboom a bonfire reference? That sounds fun. What makes you think, are you able to have a bonfire if it starts raining? Or does it like, how does that work? Okay, a little bit more. Just want to get as many of these set up as I can so we can just kind of like whip out some of our flavors here. So this is going to easily make like at minimum 4 dozen. I'm pretty sure it's going to be closer to like 6 dozen or so. So we can switch up the flavors quite a bit. So one idea that I have is for, like I said, a maple chip pecan, which I definitely want to try that one. I also have some Reese's peanut butter chips, as well as like chopped peanuts. And I thought about doing a combination of those two with some chocolate chips as well. Goodness, I finally finished off that set. Okay. My town's last night, but people still do the fireworks tonight, and it's fine in the woods, it's dry. Hard to get started, but grown 67. Oh my gosh. That sounds like a lot of fun. Okay, our batter's very thick. Oh my goodness. And then, oh, she used a scoop to make it easier. Let's see, I think medium might work for the size that we're doing, which are like a regular size. I feel like a medium scoop will be the best option. So we're just gonna start scooping and putting some into our pans, and then we're gonna add toppings as we go, kind of thing. Love a weird backstory as well. I can definitely add like a couple. I probably could have grabbed the large scoop, but. Two scoops seems like a little bit too much, so I might do like a scoop and a half on the bottom. Here, let me. Ugh. Oh my god, this is so heavy. Oh gosh, with all the ingredients added together, my goodness. Okay, I'm starting with 1 scoop on the bottom of each. And that's what's nice about her, the way that she did her recipe, was that like you can do a 1 big base of everything and then add stuff. But like I said, depending on the size of the additions, it seemed like the smaller additions, like when I did the toffee bits with mini chocolate chips, that seemed to be better like mixed throughout. But it did look prettier when it was, oh, I also have the turbinado sugar. I can add that to the top of some of them too. I just keep having ideas. I'm sorry. A fox tried to blow up the king in the parliament, but got caught and burnt. Oh, wow. Interesting. That is crazy. I'd never heard that before. Ooh. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do 2 different flavors in this muffin pan alone. I'm leaning towards the maple pecan and like kind of keeping the nut ones together, like the maple pecan and the Reese's one. I think I'm gonna do for this giant pan here. Remember the 5th of November, gunpowder plots and treason. Oh gosh, usually it's a competition. Interesting. Kind of like little half scoops to finish out the rest of them. I'm going to take out a little bit of this one because I added too much. Come on. Yeah, probably could have done the large one. I might go get the large one just to switch it up to be a little bit faster with some of the other ones. But I've committed to doing this for at least this set. I love cupcakes. I know cupcakes are so good. These are actually muffins, but I'm very excited because we're doing a few different flavors and you guys can help me decide. Been wanting to make muffins for a little while. And this is fall baking week for anybody that has not seen the shorts videos. Fall baking and treats. If you want to check out our series, this is the start of the holiday series. First week of it is the fall baking and treats. But then next week we're gonna immediately hop into Christmas stuff. Okay, I think we have 1.5 in each. I'm gonna move these pans out of my way temporarily. I'm gonna try and give these a tap on the bottom, hoping that the batter will set a little bit, kind of settle in. It worked a little bit. Okay, so let's move the giant bowl. Okay. Okay, so for these ones, what do you guys think? Do you like the idea of the maple? Let's see, what kind of cupcakes are those? These are actually muffins. We're making muffins today. So do you guys like the idea of the maple pecan for some of them and then the kind of like peanut butter chocolate for the other one? I'm thinking I'm gonna start with those and then we can have some more flavor ideas. Okay, let's start with, I have the peanut butter stuff right in front of me, so we'll start with that. Yes, maple pecan. And I'm excited for that too. Okay, so I have some chopped peanuts. There's chocolate on the side of the bowl from when I dipped the caramel apples. I'd like a streusel topped one, please. I'm shocked that you want a streusel topping one, sister. Okay, so I think I'm gonna start with peanut butter. Ooh, I'm almost dropping them. Start with peanut butter chips. I'm gonna grab a little bowl to make it easier. As if I don't have enough dishes to do already. Just a few little ones in here. We have more stuff that we're gonna be adding in, so I don't want to add too many, but I also want to make sure that like you get a good amount of the flavors, of course. I could do a peanut butter and jelly one. That would be really good. feel like I just start to add more as I go because I'm like, it looks so good. Like I mentioned before, but if you're just joining, this is the base recipe is from Chef Danielle Sepsi, and she does have a muffin cookbook coming out. None of this is like sponsored or anything. I just like saying where it's from. Yes, PB&J. How did I know you'd approve? Sprinkle of our peanuts. A little bit more on this one. These are just like salted peanuts that I got from the store that are like I think they're salted and roasted. That I just chopped up in little pieces. Roasting them really does transform the flavor completely. Okay, I think we look good. We're gonna be adding some more of each stuff, so. Sorry if you already answered this, but do you guys do poppies in America? Oh, I asked, is that like a, so what is it called? Because we have the RBL Royal British Legion. I am not sure what that is. I was thinking poppies like flowers. I was like, we have the California poppy. I'm thinking that is something completely different, and I don't believe we have that. Or it's called something completely different, and I'm not sure what the relation would be. A few regular chocolate chips, or these are semi-sweet. Poppies like for remembrance. Not that I'm aware of, that I can think of. Hello, thank you for joining. We're making some muffins. 2 red leaves, black center, and green leaf. That sounds really cool. The culture shock. I know, there's so many interesting things. You always teach us something new, Maria. Okay, this part does take a while to add all the layering, but it really does make a difference for like the bigger kind of chunky fillings that usually would seep down to the bottom. By doing like this layering thing, it did make a difference. Especially for like doing blueberries. I am going to do a blueberry one. Which sister, I am going to be doing a streusel topping. I just need to mix it up after with this one, but I knew that she'd want a streusel one because I also prefer streusel, but I'm going to do a blueberry streusel top one. And instead of having to add, like, do the whole, like, I can't talk. Instead of having, like, coat and flour, do that whole process, I believe by doing the layering thing, it actually helps not have to do that, so. Okay. Ugh, setting that to the side. Adding some more of these into my bowl so they're ready to go. And these are just little, like, just simple peanut butter chips that I got from the store. Okay. Remembrance Day is such a significant day here. Oh, that's nice. Hello, thank you for joining. Like, towns are decorated, have parades. Every school observes the silence. Poppies are sold everywhere you turn. That's really nice. Yeah, we don't totally have anything like that I can think of. Okay, we're just gonna do, maybe the medium scoop is actually gonna work out. For the amount of like toppings, fillings, things that we're doing, I think it's gonna be good. Side of the bowl is so messy. side. That's okay. Guys, I'm so excited about this. Oh my gosh. Finally making muffins. Getting to test out new flavors. But also just like doing just basic baking stuff. I know it doesn't tend to perform super well for my channel, which is why I do a lot more decorating stuff. It's just like I go through those phases where I gotta bake something. So that's why for the fall baking week I decided to do less decoration stuff and more like baking and just treats. Okay. I think it's gonna be enough. It's gonna puff up, so we're good. I've made about 20 crochet ones for the school display. Oh, I love that. That's so cool. Hello, thank you for joining. Those cupcake looks or the muffins look nice. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna top it off with a little bit more of our same stuff that we put in the middle. Probably not go as crazy as I did. But it also looks nice. Like if you do this with cookies too, it just looks really good when you top it off with some of the stuff included instead of just mixing it in. Put a little bit on top and it will just look like a little bit more, I don't know, like professional baking, like bakery type stuff. Oops. I know it doesn't have to be perfect, but I keep wanting to like spread it out nicely. Okay, I think we're good on those. We're gonna add some of our peanuts and then our chocolate chips, and we're done with this set. Okay, I think we're good with that. Let me wash my hands really quick and we can do our chocolate chips. I love watching baking. Oh yay, I do too. I'm so glad that you could join then. Let me get a little cup and make sure I finish catching up with the chips. Stay. Okay. Isn't Thanksgiving soon? Excited for that. Yeah, it's I'm excited. It's like one of those holidays just kind of like it's nice to like get together with family and stuff, but this year I feel like is in this country is like a bit much. So but yeah, it's gonna be nice. I always like any holidays where we can just kind of like get together with family and just kind of forget sometimes the worries of everything. I did liked and subscribed. Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for joining. We're doing a fall baking week, a fall baking and oh my gosh, fall baking and treats week for this week as part of our first week of our holiday series. So if you want to check that out, make sure you check out the shorts videos. And I tried my best to match up our lives to kind of the theme of the week. So next week we'll have to start doing some kind of holiday Christmassy stuff. Off the top of my head, I don't remember what the actual theme of next week is. I just know it starts the Christmas ones. Oh my gosh, these don't want to stay. I'm trying to make them look like, you know, spread out as if I like sprinkled them nicely, but at the same time, I want to make sure that I'm trying to make them look random, but also organized at the same time. That's not totally working out. I'm trying to control the batter. Oops, needs more chocolate chips. Hello, thank you for joining. They look good. Thank you so much. Hello, hello. I'm excited. I hate wasting things, so I was very excited to like finally get to use some of the ingredients that I've been wanting to use up. I think that looks good. Okay, I think we're good. I'm gonna call that good. Alrighty, we're gonna flip this around. I'm gonna close up my peanuts for now. Do a little flippy-do, and we're gonna get the pecans and the maple baking chips. Hello, thank you for joining. See, I don't know if they sell these anymore, so it was like a special thing, but we had them in the freezer, so I'm using them for, let me get a little, it's so much easier to do a bowl than just taking them straight from the bag. Creates more dishes, but it's easier in the long run. Let me finish this bag off, actually. Okay. So doing a little sprinkle around in each set. Make sure each muffin has a good amount so that we all get the flavor in each bite. Okay, I think we're good. Let's do our pecans. If I had time, I would have roasted these, because roasted nuts have a better depth of flavor, but these are still going to be really good. Just a nice sprinkle of chopped pecans. Okay, do you guys prefer the lives where I do like specific decorations, or just kind of like hanging out and baking like this? I'm kind of curious, especially as like it's finally cooled down. I can definitely use some more baking stuff if you guys would like that. Okay, now we add another scoop of batter on top and repeat the process. Oops. almost done, and we can add our toppings once more. Oops. Trying to get it kind of at the center as best I can. Okay. Now I'm going to do the reverse of what I did before. I'm going to add the nuts first and then the chips on top. Okay, good. And finally we'll have our first pan done. Like I said, this process does take a while to do the layering, but it does have some really nice results. And it looks really cool with I keep wanting to say decorations, but it looks really cool with the toppings on top. Not only does it tell you what muffin it is, but it also just looks really nice. Okay, top these off with some maple chips. Stay. Just gonna kind of stud it. I'm just going to finish off using what I have left of this particular bag of chips. And then, oh my goodness, we can finally add a pan to the oven. And we bake it at 400 for, I believe it's 5 minutes, and then we drop the temperature. I had to rewatch that part of the class to remember why that happens. I like knowing the reason why why we do certain things with baking. Okay, just a few more maple chips randomly. Some little pieces. Okay. All right, so what do you guys think? Which one would you try first? Okay, let's get this in the oven. Like I said, 400 for 5 minutes. And then we'll drop it. Okay. Woo, finally. Okay, before we get started on scooping some more stuff, I am going to whip up a quick streusel. Let's see how she wants us to make the streusel. Okay. With the flour, the brown sugar, and salt. Pinch of salt could be like a 1/16 or an 1/8 teaspoon. I'm going to double it just so I have some extra depending on how many flavors I want to add the top to. So let's get that. Like I said, I usually use my streusel topping, but I'm very curious to try what just using a brown sugar topping would be like. Okay. And then we're going to do an equal amount of flour. Okay. Hey, Starlight, remember me? Hi, Dark Falcon. Of course I remember you. It looks like kinetic sand. It kind of does, doesn't it? Yeah, it's brown sugar and flour. We're going to add a little bit of salt, and then we're going to add some butter to make a quick streusel topping. We're making muffins today. We have our first set already in the oven. Let's grab some salt. Oh, wait, is it still hot? It's right in front of my face. I'm gonna do, for a double, probably like a quarter or half teaspoon-ish. Okay, I'm gonna give that a mix with a fork really quick before we add our butter, which I'm hoping, does it need to be softened or room temperature? Softened. Okay, so it needs to be a little bit softer than it is right now. Let's pop it in the microwave, but do like a half power. What flavors are they? We're doing a whole bunch of flavors, and you guys can help me decide some of them that I'm doing. In the oven right now, we have a peanut butter chocolate one, and then we also have a pecan maple. And then I'm making a streusel topping, so I really want to do a blueberry crumb. But then besides that, I have a couple of ideas. You guys can help me figure that out. Hey, what are you making? Hello, thank you for joining. We're making some muffins today. Okay, I'm gonna pop this butter just to soften it up a bit. Probably like 20 seconds at half power. It already started to get a little bit soft just by sitting here for a while. Breaking these clumps, but we're also going to be using our hands to kind of combine everything. That's how she recommends doing it, so we're going to try that. Usually I use like the pastry blender where it has like the little, you can like cut the fat into what you're making, but I'm doing what she says. Is it gluten-free? It is not gluten-free. My apologies. I've only done like a tiny bit of gluten-free baking with like the 1-to-1 flour, but there are definitely some really great gluten-free bakers out there. 3:25 start. Crap, what time? How much time? Okay. Because these are smaller than what she recommended, or smaller than the size she was doing, I'm doing a little bit less time. But let's check on our, because she made like gigantic muffins, and I am not doing that. So, gonna add melted a little bit, but that's okay. We shall make it work. Trying to get all this buttery goodness out of here. Okay. I'm gonna combine it first. I don't like using my hands a ton with stuff. Like in terms of getting stuff coated on my fingers, not the biggest fan, but I can see why at a certain point you have to with this. Skip the rest of our meat in my hand anyway. And our hands are clean. It says to combine it until it is like the consistency of like a thick sand. I'll be honest, I didn't fully pay attention to every part of this part of the class because I was making my own flavor. And I decided to not do the streusel that day. So I'm pretty sure this is how she does it. Let's see, I was thinking about doing it, but to be honest, I don't know if it's going to be good or not. Do you have very good recipe or something like this? I don't know who to follow on YouTube. I do have a bunch of recipes. I do not have a recipe for muffin. This is actually from Chef Danielle Sepsi, and it is a very good recipe. She has a cookbook coming out pretty soon, I believe. But yeah, for stuff like this where it's like muffins, I don't make it a ton. Did you wash your hands before doing that? Yes, my hands were clean. So I don't have a specific recipe for muffins, but I do have recipes for a bunch of stuff. Actually, I do have my own streusel, but I wanted to try out hers and see the difference with like just doing brown sugar, because I have a mixture of brown sugar and regular sugar when I do streusel. So I was curious to give hers a try as well. I just want it to be nice and thick pieces as far as I know. We could do like a nice little sprinkle on top. Okay, I think we look pretty good. This looks like, you know, a nice thick sand. So I'm going to call that good. I'm going to scrape off my hands. Didn't stick as much as I expected, so that's good. Okay. Wash again. Try to clean as we go so we don't get crummies everywhere. There we go. Okay. Alrighty, next flavor. We're gonna do the blueberry streusel that I'm very excited about. And then we can figure out what other kind of flavor we want to do with the streusel as well. So, I think the amount actually worked out to do the medium scoop. So we're gonna do the medium scoop, 1.5 on the bottom, 1 on top. let's whip this out. And I think I have to catch up in the chat again. Oh, just give me 1 minute while I do some scooping here. So this flavor will be ready to go when we are, actually if I can set up 2 trays, I'm gonna try and do that. But I had an idea for a, oh no, batter down. The side of the bowl is so messy. I had an idea to do like a jam, maybe like jam chocolate chip or something. What do you guys think of that one? Because I have a cherry jam that I've been wanting to use up. Okay, and then a little half scoop. Oops, I totally got that messy. Got too excited to put the batter in there. I'm on a journey to cook everything I desire, so I'll try muffins and then cream puffs. Ooh, yes. And then I think maybe we'll try brownie. Love brownies, oh my gosh. Cream puffs, they seem very intimidating, but I really like making them. I don't make them a ton, but I've made even like a croquembouche is like a giant cream puff tower. But yeah, they're really, it seems more intimidating than I think it is, but that's awesome that you want to do that. I actually did that kind of earlier when I was first starting out. I did a year of new things. And so every single week I challenged myself to make something new, even if it was like a no-bake something, a buttercream. Like that's when I first tried making Swiss meringue buttercream, and I love using that one to decorate now. So I love that idea. You can learn how to make so many cool things. And some things are like way easier than you'd ever expect. You're like, this is all it took? It sounds like way more scary and intimidating. Just like making like a caramel is like incredibly easy, but it just seems really like it would be really intense. Also keeping an eye on the oven. We're doing good. Okay. I'm excited to see how they turn out or how they look. Thank you. I think this is a good idea. Blueberry muffins, yum. Yes, I'm excited. Gluten-free. I don't do too much gluten-free stuff. Maybe like once in a while, like a truffle or something, but there are definitely some really great gluten-free bakers out there. They just know way more about that stuff than I do. So I'm just gonna be totally honest about that one. I'm gonna get some blueberries out of the freezer. And Chef Danielle's class, she actually said that frozen blueberries have a more consistent like size to them. So they can actually be better sometimes for baking stuff like this. So let's do, oops. Although some of these look gigantic. So maybe I got not a consistent size bag. Oops. I do love a good blueberry muffin. What's your favorite muffin flavor, you guys? Pop it in the chat. I feel like it kind of depends on my mood, but I do really love a good like crumb top muffin, specifically like a nice blueberry crumb. I think if I had to pick only one flavor, that would probably be it. I'm gonna dye my fingers purple. Oops. Kind of squish them down a little bit. This one's definitely going faster because I don't have as many topping things that I'm putting in the middle, like the first set. Okay, we're definitely good. Apologies, I'll catch up in the chats in just a second. We're gonna do another scoop and then some more blueberries. 2 more blueberries on top as well as our crumb. So I'm doing, for these size, she did like massive, like these really gigantic muffins. I'm doing just like a regular kind of regular size muffin, I guess. I don't, what is a regular size muffin? These are like a regular cupcake size, we'll say. But I'm doing 1.5 medium. This is like a medium sized cookie scoop. And I'm doing 1.5 on the bottom and then 1 to top it off. I haven't made muffins very many times. I'm going to be honest. I just love like trying new things. And I go through phases of like wanting to play around with like muffins or cookies or something like that. Especially around the holidays, I get really into cookies. But it isn't a bad thing because then it's like you have plenty of gifts for people. Made with love from the heart. Okay. Got 1 scoop on top of each. Add a few more blueberries and our crumb. Not a ton of blueberries because I want to make sure there's plenty of spots for the streusel to stick. Usually it's better to do like an odd number for whatever reason that like looks nicer. My hands are officially purple. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I'm finishing recording a video today. Okay, so I'm gonna pop my blueberries back in the freezer so they don't start thawing. And I'm going to put our streusel on top. And do just a little sprinkle. It's got like a couple minutes before I check the muffins. Just gonna kind of try my best to keep them in the little muffin tin, but kind of get the whole top coated. That's my goal. We'll clean up after. Nice little spread around. I like a good amount of streusel. I don't know about you guys, but that's like my favorite part of a muffin if that includes that. Like sticking it all together. I'll clean up the sides in a sec. Oh my god, I did try to mix with meringue buttercream and the American ones. Also, the American was perfect, but we try to make it, my blender broke. Oh gosh. I don't know, maybe bad luck. See, I have never had a hand blender break with American buttercream. I did learn that Swiss meringue really tests a hand blender. And I've actually broken 1 or 2 from that. I think a couple actually. So I always like specifically use my stand mixer to make Swiss meringue because it's thicker. I like it a lot more, and it just kind of depends. There also is a French, if you don't like the Swiss meringue for some reason, a French buttercream is kind of like a custardy buttercream because it uses egg yolks instead of egg whites. So it has like a custardy, there's like, it's really cool how many different types of buttercream there are, with how many different things you can do with just creaming some butter and sugar. I think blueberry and strawberry. Ooh, yes. Checking, checking, checking. Okay, I think these need just a little bit more time. I can tell there's still a little bit of dough happening, or a little bit of like uncooked batter. So let's do 3 more minutes. That'll be the upper. That's like the lower amount of her time that she recommends for the muffins, but that's for like the big ones. I might pop this on a baking tray just to make sure the streusel doesn't fall into the oven and start baking into something. A little bit more around. Is the price for the holidays in America get higher or new? Because I think holiday everything will be surprising. If you're asking about like prices for like buying ingredients and stuff, it definitely does go up. So we try, like my family, my mom and I specifically do a lot of baking for the holidays. So we try to stock up if we can, like right before the holidays, right before they start making everything more expensive. But especially this year, it's like things are just so expensive everywhere that it's like, I don't know, I try to make things for people if I can, if I think of something. But this year I think might be especially more of a baking year for holiday gifts and such. Okay, I think we look pretty good. Let's clean up the sides. I'm gonna set you to the side. And then my usual go-to is just take a paper towel and like wipe the edges. I don't care as much about the middle. Like I can just, it's gonna get some stuff on it anyway, so. If I have enough batter, I might do a couple batches of the blueberry crumbs since I have plenty of the streusel left. But like I said, I think I'm gonna pop this on the sheet pan just to be on the safe side. But the question is, can I fit 2 of these side by side? Nope, that's not gonna protect it. Okay, we're just gonna pop that right there and then set that over here while we get our next set ready. But I gotta clean the counter once again. Oop, and I check on the muffins. Perfect timing. Oh my goodness, we're already almost at 2 hours for being on live. That's crazy. Okay, how are we looking? This is our next container we're working with. I feel like maybe it's because there's so many, but also I think my oven sometimes bakes a little bit lower. So that's probably affecting it a little bit. I'm gonna turn them around and then bake them for just a little bit longer. So I can tell there's still some spots with batter that are not done yet. Okay, let's do 2 more minutes and check again because I don't want to overbake them. That does not good. But in the meantime, we can start scooping more, and maybe you need to use a brush to clean the cramps. Yeah, I sometimes will do that when I'm like fully doing the cleaning, but because I was just, it's fine if it's like still kind of like in the middle of all the crevices and everything like that. scraping down the side of the bowl because it's getting kind of gunky when I'm trying to scrape off the excess. So 1, 2, I think it's faster when I just do the 1 full scoop and then the half. Oh, good idea. Thank you. Yeah, I've had that happen where I've been baking something and it like overflowed a little bit and it just, I was baking like some big cookies and I completely underestimated the amount that they would spread. They spread like way more than I thought. And then next thing I know, there's like cookie cooking on the rack below and I was like, oh God, that is not fun to clean up. So I always like to be on the more cautious side now. All right, what do you guys think of the jam and like cherry jam with chocolate chips? I feel like I want to try that one. I think that's going to be pretty good. But the question is, regular chocolate chips or mini chocolate chips? I feel like the mini are nice when you get to mix it into the batter, but they don't like disperse, if you will, as nicely if it's not. Let me see. How are we doing? I can still tell there's a couple little spots. I'm gonna do like 2 more minutes and we're gonna call it good, I think. Like I said, I think our oven sometimes runs a little bit low temperature, a little bit under, so it's fine. If you make a big shop, I'll be the waitress there so I can have a discount and eat whatever I want. I know people have asked me about like opening up a place, but it's just, I love creating like the whole content stuff and like getting to share it in that way. Especially because it's like, it seems so intimidating to open a shop, but I don't know. I will let you guys know if that ever happens for sure. But I feel like I like to experiment too much, and with like a shop, you have to be consistent about what you're making so that you know like your inventory and everything. Oh, I see all the little hearts. Thank you guys. Let me check the chat in just a sec. A few more half scoops to go. This is already our 4th dozen that we're doing. You would think I'm opening a bake shop with the amount that we're doing today, but they'll go to friends and family. Okay. And, oop, it's about to go off, so I can't get fully into it, but I can at least get my jam out. Perfect, I mean. Okay. Gloves work on me. Still, there's still a couple of spots that look like they're just a little bit underdone, which is gonna but it needs just a little bit more time. I might need to bump up my temperature just by a smidge for the next baking set. I'm just gonna keep doing 2 minutes at a time until we get that done, but in the meantime, I can keep putting together our next sets. I know I tried the money before. I think the regular is okay because we used to it. Tried the money? Thinking about it, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it can be pretty tricky. Okay, so I got some cherry jam here, homemade. Went through a jam phase. Not super recently, but kind of recently, but jam stays good, which is nice. So I'm just gonna put a whole little layer, and then I think I'm gonna take like a little like butter knife or stick or something, like stick tool, and kind of do a little swirl. So I got a few more seconds to check it. Mini, my autocorrect sometimes changes. No worries. Yeah, I love mini muffins because it's like it's nice little just taste of it. It's not committing to like one of those gigantic muffins. Okay, are you done yet? They're supposed to kind of like. They're still not quite there. What is with you, oven, today? I think I'm gonna bump it up like 10 degrees just to try and get it a little bit more and do 2 more minutes. We'll see. We shall see how it goes. Okay, I think I'm gonna do. Take this little like stick tester. This is like what I use for my cake tester stuff. It's like just a little metal stick. Just gonna kind of give it a little swirl with our batter. Not fully mixing in, but just kind of doing a nice little attempted swirl. Like I said, if I had some of my apple compote on hand, I'd absolutely make an apple one too. An apple with a streusel topping. Oh my gosh, that would be so good. Maybe, I wonder if just adding like cut apple pieces without cooking them beforehand, how that would do. I might need to give that a try. What's your guys' favorite fall flavor? Try and pop that in the chats. I love pumpkin, but I also really, really love apple stuff, especially when you combine it with caramel. So I'm just kind of like, it depends on my mood. But I'm almost always in the mood for like a nice caramel apple type dessert during the fall. Or like caramel apple pie or something like that. But I also love adding caramel to something with pumpkin too. It's just such a good combo. These are sliding too much. How are you already done? Okay, one more swirl. Swirl, swirl, swirl. Swirled, aren't you? There you go. There you go. Okay. Okay. These look more like they're done on top, so I think we're good. Yes, these actually look like they're done now. They better be for the amount of time that they took. Well, let me let them cool for a sec so it doesn't like burn my hand to hold it next to the camera. But let's do. We're not gonna be on live the whole time while I get to finish up the muffins, but I can at least start to bake off. I need to pop this back up to 400. because it needs to be up there for the 5 minutes initially, so we can pop in our blueberry streusel. And I've got a little bit of batter on the side there. Can pop in our blueberry streusel and finish up at least getting these ones ready for the oven. The cherry jam. Oh, wait. Plain or chocolate chips? I really like the idea of chocolate chips. We're gonna do that first. There is our chocolate chips. I don't have one, I just have specific things that I like, and I need everything except the thing that I'm allergic from. Oh gosh. Navigating allergies is so difficult. I'm always like very cautious when I make things for people because I'm like, I really don't want to have anybody have a reaction or something. So I'm always like, this is made with this. But I get that. I love like trying a little bit of everything is always just like so yummy. And the jam being mixed with it will probably affect the baking time even a little bit more. But we'll see. We'll navigate that as I come to it. At that point, we'll probably be off live because we're already been on for, it's already been over a couple hours. Usually our lives are like half an hour to an hour. But I was just very excited about muffins today. So thank you guys for joining. We'll finish up this, and like I said, get the blueberry. Oh, I need some more chocolate chips. Get the blueberry in there. Let you guys see the set that's already done and out of the oven. And then I'll have to take pictures later and hopefully post sometime soon with the results of the rest of the flavors and how they turn out. Okay, I think we're good. Let's start scooping. And 1 scoop of our medium-sized scoop on top, and that seems to have worked out really well for our other ones, so I'm glad I stuck with that for these. Like I said, I'll show you in a sec. I have batter going everywhere. I'll show you in a sec how those ones turned out after we finish setting up our cherry chocolate here. Okay, so let's do a little bit, I think another swirl of the cherry and some more chocolate chips on top. We're gonna finish it similarly. I think I need to do a new allergic test because next time, or every time I just forgot and eat something and nothing happened, so I think I need to do a new one. Oh, that's interesting. So you're saying like the thing that you thought you were allergic to, like you might not be? I've heard that can happen, like allergies can sometimes change. But you definitely want to do like an allergy test to make it test in a safer environment, I think. A little bit more on this one. Okay, and our usual live time, just so you guys know, is typically Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I switched up today because I have something going on Friday, so I wanted to make sure we still got a live in for the week, but just so you guys know, that is our typical time. So it's not always Wednesdays at this time. I kind of do like a little swirl, make it look pretty. Or attempting to. Kind of like a marbly effect on top, basically. Whoops. Okay. Gonna add a few more chocolate chips, and then we are good. Don't want to be stingy with our chocolate for cherry chocolate. See, yeah, it did change for real because I wasn't allergic from peaches before and just suddenly become allergic in exchange for sure. So allergic reaction change. That's so interesting. I've heard that like allergies can develop like with something that you've been eating like all your life. Like it can just happen sometimes where you just develop an allergy to it, which is like I feel like that'd be so shocking. Like I've always had this. Almost done. What should my fifth flavor be, guys? I'll start getting that one ready after we hop off live. We already have our kind of like peanut butter chocolate one. We have our... They're dipping in the center. Why are you guys dipping? Oh, man. That didn't happen before. Maybe it's because I didn't do the cake flour. Curious. Just looked up and they're like not as puffy and they're kind of like getting a ditch in the center, which is kind of annoying. Unless I filled it. I don't think I filled it too much because it's, from what I remember, this is about what they looked like before. I don't know, people still enjoy them. They'll still taste good. Could be a cake flour thing. Not quite sure. That's kind of a fun and also annoying part about baking is you can be like kind of testing things out and seeing how different things react. Okay. I think we look good. What do you guys think? Cherry chocolate. Let's see. Gotta clean up some more batter here. Okay, and let's stick our blueberry crumb in the oven. I hope that these ones stay pretty good. There's our blueberry crumb before they go in. 400 for 5 minutes. And I'm actually going to turn it up to 4. Oops. Not that. Oh my gosh. There we go. I wanted to do 10 more degrees. I did 10 degrees higher because it's been cooling, like cooking a little bit slow. So there's our cherry chocolate, and let's see how our other ones look. And then we'll be hopping off live pretty soon. They have little ditches in the center. I'm not sure why they did that. But here is what they look like. So we have our like peanut butter. It has peanut butter chips, chocolate chips, and peanuts. And then over here we have our maple pecan chips with maple chips with pecans. So they do have little ditches in the center, but like I said, they'll still taste good. Maybe they're still, I hope they were still not underdone in the center. That would be annoying. Like I said, I haven't made muffins very many times, so kind of testing it out a little bit, but I took the class and it turned out well during that point. But I made mini ones, so I don't know if that would make that big of a difference. But muffins are not something I make very often. So what about pecan and cinnamon or caramel? Ooh, I like that. If I have some red caramel, some caramel that I dyed red for Halloween. That could be a good one to use. Yes, looks good. Thank you. It looks great. Thank you so much. Or maybe dry fruit. Ooh, that would be interesting. Maybe like a, I don't know, my mom makes these cookies that are, they have white chocolate chips, pecans, and cranberries. That might be a good muffin one. Thank you for the idea. Let's see. It's already been well over 2 hours that we've been on live. So while these all finish baking, I am going to hop off, but in the meantime, make sure to check out, we should be back to our regular schedule. Like I said, today was a switch up because I have something on Friday, but we should be back to our regular schedule next Friday, same time, same day, Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. And in the meantime, we have our holiday series just started. This is, the first week is Fall Baking and Treats Week. So make sure to check out all those fun videos. Our first day was caramel apples. I had a lot of fun making those. But in the meantime, there's still plenty of content to check out. There's also the whole holiday series from last year as well. So make sure to check out all the fun stuff. And let me know also what kind of stuff you'd like to see on live as well. If you want some more baking, if you want some more decorating, all of that good stuff. But thank you all so much for joining today and for being in the chat. I really appreciate all the active chat participants. It always makes a lot more fun talking to you guys than just talking to myself. So, but I hope you have a really great day, a great rest of your week, and also a fabulous weekend. And I will see you very soon. Bye.